This is his fourth countdown to kickoff. Trei Oliver's in his sixth season, fifth on the field as the head football coach at North Carolina Central. The Eagles last year were 9-3, 4-1 in the MEAC. As a matter of fact, made a play, got an at-large berth to the FCS playoffs, which that doesn't happen a lot in the MEAC, so that's a pretty big deal. And the Eagles open the season in the Orange Blossom Classic in Miami on Sunday, September 1st against Alabama State on ESPN. As a matter of fact, it's one of 5 nationally televised games, meaning ESPN or ESPNU, for the Eagles as Trei Oliver joins us here on the countdown to kickoff. What's going on, Coach Oliver?
Man, not too much, man. It's good to be here. Whenever I see you, it means it's, about to kick this thing off. But
yeah,
like Adrian Jones said, appreciate what you do for us. You're one of the few networks that shows us some love in the MEAC. A lot of folks think the only ball that's being played is down in the SWAC. So we play football up here too. Good football.
Yeah, good football. No doubt about it. I appreciate you saying that. I got to start here. I had a chance to see Davius Richard play. In 2019 was his first year, was your first year. We come, 4 playing years, but 5 years later, and you have to replace him. When it's all said and done, he's going to be one of the, if not already, one of the greatest players to ever play in the MEAC. But you've got a guy in Walker Harris who played last year, I believe, played in all 12 games,
yes,
5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. What do you have in a Walker Harris?
Walker Harris is an outstanding quarterback, and we had a plan when we tried to develop young men. So we knew going into the start of the season that I wanted to play my quarterbacks as much as possible. So we had an opportunity to get up on some people, a couple touchdowns. Whenever we did that, I wanted to protect Davis, get him out of the game. But at the same time, we had to be intentional with trying to develop Walker and getting him, quality game reps. So there's nothing like game experience, and you can practice as much as you want to, but until they're out there under center with the referees and the band and all that stuff, that's the only way they're going to get those quality reps. But he has an unbelievable arm. He probably has better arm talent than Davius. He's definitely not the runner that Davius is, but very cerebral and can spin it. He can throw the football.
Got to ask you about this. So now I know you weren't happy with Davius Richard and he playing in that, or got injured really in that HBCU football game. His health status, where is he now? His health status, and where is he? Is he in camp now?
No, he did not get picked up. He's still rehabbing. It's a process. It was a tough injury. So, he's rehabbing now. He is running. He's starting to work out again. And we're hopeful that he'll get picked up on at least a practice squad, hopefully in September.
9-3 last season. Again, as I mentioned, an at-large playoff berth. Your thoughts on the Eagles season in 2023?
Somewhat disappointing. We are about championships, and that's what we want to do. And, I was joking with the media last year, and, we started off with a very tough non-conference schedule. We got through that, and we were 6-1. And, I was joking with the media, and I said, I would much rather be 1-6 and win all these conference games than win the championship. But, we started until we lost one conference game and ended up obviously in second in our conference. But, we were still able to play in postseason and make it to the playoffs and finish in the top 20. So, it's about championships, though, man. Nobody remembers who come in second.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay.
But an at-large berth, that's
championships, man.
Good enough.
All right. My AD is in the back, and I got the chancellor, and they told me it's about championships. So,
Skip Perkins, the AD,
right,
of course, at North Carolina Central. So offensively, I look at this. Okay, so Walker Harris, he got some experience, which is really, really good, particularly when you're talking about a guy like a Davius Richard, who was absolutely fantastic. I looked at this roster. Jamari Taylor comes back, your running back. He's really, really good. Devin Smith comes back, wide receiver.
Devin transferred.
He did.
Yeah. The transfer portal was not kind to the Eagles.
Okay.
But go ahead. We're good, though.
Okay. Before I assume, Joaquin Davis comes back.
Yes, grown man.
Wide receiver. But you've got some other guys that are coming back, too. Joaquin is probably the most experienced guy, or has the most in terms of stats. So speak to, in particular, Taylor in the wide receiver room that's going to help a guy like Walker Harris.
Right. Well, we did replace Devin with Mekhi Wall. He transferred in from Duke, and I don't really talk about transfers until they play. But his father played in the secondary with me and Coach Jones.
Oh, wow.
So it was good to be able to get him back. Get him here in Durham. But we've got a talented team, and I think when you have a player like Davius, a star player, guys are kind of like role players and kind of sit back and are role players. But every place I've been, whenever you lost a superstar like that, those other guys step up. So I'm really excited to see who's going to be that next superstar. And we're loaded offensively. Skill positions, receivers, we got plenty of them. I'm very pleased with our tight end room. Our running back room is outstanding. And our offensive line was extremely young last year, and they grew up. So we are going to, I think we're going to be explosive offensively, and then defensively, we got a lot of guys returning as well.
And you have 4 specifically starters that are returning, correct, on defense?
4?
That's what that's the information I have.
Yeah, we play a lot of guys though, so we got depth. We got depth. Okay. But yeah, we do have it's 4 starters coming back, but we really try to play a lot of guys and a lot of depth to create depth. So for when this day comes.
Trei Oliver is the head football coach at North Carolina Central. He's joining us here, of course, on the countdown to kickoff. You mentioned the transfer portal. I've talked with you about this for a number of years. It's here, and I know it's not your favorite thing. But have you found that over the years you've kind of had to take a position? Maybe I should ask you what position you've taken in terms of the transfer portal, but it is what it is. It's here. Guys are going to jump in from your team, but you also are going to have to, in essence, a lot of times, replace those guys with guys out of the portal, as you have already done.
Yes, I'm not a fan of the transfer portal, and I've been pretty vocal about it. Yeah. I'm all about developing high school student athletes. We had quite a few guys that did leave our program and get into the portal. My man's throwing me off back here talking in the ear, man.
Yeah, just say 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yes.
But
just have 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes. But transfer portal. We did lose some firepower, and it was good to see these guys, go to another school and they're having success. A bunch of them are already starting at the schools they went to. I did have to go in the transfer portal and try to replace some of these guys, but I'm not a huge fan of it. We got some guys banged up. I think against Norfolk State last year. We play Howard, and I look out there, and I got 3 freshman linemen starting. And then I look beside me, I got 3 transfer linemen sitting on sidelines with me. So, when them dudes transfer, a lot of times they can't play. Or secondly, they don't fit into the culture. So, I'm a big culture over scheme guy, and if they don't fit into the culture and they're not about our culture, that's not for me. So, we're going to keep, continue to develop high school guys. I got to kind of change my thought process a little bit because, you're losing them so late. But, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure the transfer portal out.
Yeah, no question about it. I'm with you. I'm kind of old school in that way, but it's here. Schedule. When I look at the schedule, it looks like a nice schedule. You got A&T at home. I mentioned 5 nationally televised games, 2 classics. That's pretty big. You open up with the Orange Blossom Classic, as mentioned, and you still have 2 classics, and you still have 5 home games. I mean, you got to feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, I'm excited about the schedule. Obviously, us playing North Carolina A&T in Durham, this is going to be our first time playing them in Durham since I've been the head coach. So we're excited about that. And then, it's a great experience for our guys to play in the Orange Blossom Classic and the 40th year of the Circle City Classic. So I really like to put together a very tough non-conference schedule to prepare us for the conference games. And then, obviously, if you have success in the non-conference games, you have an opportunity to be ranked, in top 25. So that's the big part for me as far as the scheduling. It's tough, it's brutal, but you don't get any respect for knocking out the little dudes, right?
Yeah, no, right. You got to play the big ones, especially in the MEAC. You have to play many more non-conference games, and you have put together an excellent schedule. Campbell's on the schedule, coming off the top of my head. Let me ask you this: you took over the program. 2019 was your first year, 4-8 in that particular season. But then in 2021, you were 6-5. I thought a couple of the bigger wins over your career, outside, of course, of the Jackson State win in the Celebration Bowl, the Alcorn State win in 2021 when you're talking about the MEAC SWAC Challenge, the A&T win to open the 2022 season to set you up for the national championship. A couple of things. What would you say are some of the signature wins over your years? And how did COVID, it seemed like you came out like game busters, 4-8, COVID year, 6-5, and you've taken it from there.
Right, had to. The administration put a little fire up under me, man. A little pressure. They talk about making some changes. So, well, 2019, that's where all the gray hair came from, man. But that was probably the worst year of my life. But, we always want to see progress, and we just want to improve every year. And I think that we had a chance to do that. I do very little. I do media and deal with the alumni. I got an outstanding coaching staff, and I don't call any plays. I let my coaches coach. And, I can't say enough about the staff that I have and how good those guys are. And then, our players, we talk about culture. And, signature wins, I think that the Campbell game last year really, checked our temperature. We were down 21 in the first half, and, our kids never flinched. And a lot of that's, a testament to the culture. Guys not complaining, they're not pointing fingers. We're just going to play it one play at a time and fight to get back in the game. So Campbell was probably a signature win. Obviously, we have rivals with A&T, so whenever you get a win over A&T, that's always, a big win. Of course, Jackson State. And then, very rarely do HBCUs win non-conference out of their conference. So whenever beating the PWIs, to me, that's huge. We went on the road and played a top 10 New Hampshire team and beat them by 2 scores in 22. So, when you look at the success rate with HBCUs playing the PWIs or non-conference, the numbers usually aren't good. So whenever we play a non-conference team, we really try to make sure we put our best foot forward.
No doubt about it. Last thought, I got about 30 seconds, and I know you can't really answer this in 30 seconds. What does it mean, however, to be at your alma mater and having the success that you're having?
I can't even put it into words, man. My mom, dad went to school there. My wife went to school there. So for me to have an opportunity to have success at other places and then be able to come back to where it all started. And, my school gave me an opportunity, and I'm so grateful for that. And you come back and then have success. I was able to win a lot of championships as an assistant coach on the Ride Broadway, but when you come home and you build your own program and put it together like you want to and then have success and national champions and top 20, team, that's huge, man. So I'm extremely excited for where we're headed. And again, it's administration, my coaches, and everybody. When everybody's, working the same direction, it makes life a lot easier.
All right, we appreciate it, Coach Oliver.